My name is Exony, and I'm the fastest scout alive. 5 years ago, Valve added the Babyface's blaster to the game, and in the Two Cities update, it was changed to become one of the greatest side grades to the stock scattergun, throwing off the chains of its old damage penalty and becoming less punishing by allowing the scout to jump without losing all of his boost. Wait, what do you mean it got changed again? When? Gunmetal? Okay, just let me get a second try on this then. My name is Exony, and I'm sometimes the fastest scout in the world, given that I can deal 100 damage and maintain my boost meter by avoiding all sources of damage. I mean, anything will make you lose your boost with this thing. I mean, have you seen how fast it depletes? Like, a mini sentry shoots you 3 times, it's gone. You get lit on fire by a pyro, you can say goodbye to your boost. Hello everybody, I'm gonna say it one more time, I'm Exony, and today, all jokes aside, I wanted to talk about the sad state that the Babyface's blaster is in, and why this weapon is so underwhelming to use. So obviously, the cool and interesting part of this weapon is the movement speed buff. You start off moving a bit slower than the normal scout at 120% movement speed, but as you deal damage, you fill your boost meter, and at a maximum of 100 damage dealt, you will be moving at 173% movement speed, which is the scout's maximum speed. You can't drink the criticola to go faster, but the downsides to this weapon are so huge. The first of these is a 75% loss of boost on air jumps. This means every time you take a jump in the air, you'll be losing 75% of that sweet speed you've been building up, which isn't as huge of a problem as the second downside, but if you're the kind of scout who likes to jump around a lot, this weapon is definitely not for you. It promotes a playstyle of ground-based scouts who use their speed to dodge shots, but this is a major problem when you also look at its second downside, which is a 4% loss of speed for each point of damage taken from any source. This means it only takes 25 damage from any source to drop your speed back down to 120%. No ifs, and ors, or buts about it. And it's incredibly jarring, because the major difference is, with the air jumps, you have direct control over when you air jump. You have to make a choice of whether you need to jump and lose your speed, or maintain your speed and take whatever damage you would take in that situation. But with the 4% loss for each point of damage taken, you're at the mercy of your enemies, and this means you're at the mercy of spam. This means in any fight, any amount of damage you tank is pretty much going to drop all of your boost. A 1v1 with another scout, any shot he puts into you is going to take away all of your boost, and it's incredibly hard to hit shots when your speed is changing like this. Against a soldier, you can expect all of it to go with that splash damage without your ability to double jump. And even if you do decide to do a double jump to avoid that extra rocket, you're still losing 75% of your boost from that jump, meaning you're still relatively at no speed compared to what you were at before. This weapon is incredibly inconsistent with its speed boost, and that's really its major problem, is this inconsistency it has. You have no guarantee that you're going to be able to hold and maintain your speed throughout a fight. You're going to be constantly changing speeds, which is disorienting for you and can make it easier for enemies to hit you if you just kind of stop in place and wait for that shot to hit you. Personally, I think the idea of taking damage reduces your boost is a good idea for the weapon, but in its current state it's too punishing and too jarring as it takes place instantaneously. I believe that the weapon should have a gradual loss of energy when you take damage instead of just an immediate loss, so it's less jarring to the player who is suffering from that loss. Maybe it could be toned down a bit as well, because there still needs to be a way for you to lose this energy. It shouldn't just be a snowball weapon, where you just get the boost and all of a sudden you're just better than a normal scout. The losing boost on double jumps feeds into this. You can either choose to double jump and lose some of your speed, but maybe gain it back from a shot you're about to put in somebody, or you can try dodging the shot with the speed you already have, gambling the damage you're going to take, which will lose all of your speed. It's a decision that the player has to make, and it's incredibly interesting, but as it stands right now, it's much too punishing. And it really makes this weapon the worst option for scouts as a primary. I would honestly say that the shortstop is a better choice in the right situations. The Babyface's blaster doesn't really have a situation where it shines like the other scatterguns do. The shortstop can be used for pushing people off of points. It can also be used for mid-range engagements. While the Babyface's blaster is potentially a good harassing weapon, but if anyone looks at you wrong, you're just going to lose all of your boost and be at a snail's pace and just be that much easier to hunt down and kill. I remember when this weapon was amazing after the Two Cities update, and it was one of the best side grades to the Scout scattergun. But as it stands right now, it's really in a bad state. It either needs less boost loss per points of damage taken to make it more lenient, while still punishing the player for being out of position with its speed boost, or it needs to be reworked with the speed boost to make it more consistent for the player using it. I mean that the speed boost can be acquired and kept consistently while still having ways for it to be lost that are fair to the player. And I'm not really sure how this would be done. I want to hear what you guys have to think. Are there any of you out there who think that the Babyface's blaster is the best scout primary in the world? Or do you think that it is bottom tier like I do? I honestly think the weapon has a lot of potential, but it really needs to be reworked to be in a state where it can really shine. That's all I really have for today, and I hope you have a great day. Peace out.